Is it recording?
It is recording. What's up guys? It's Joelle. Welcome back to another video and I have a friend here today.
Hi, I'm Josh from the channel Hey It's Josh Co.
And he's a freshman here at Dartmouth. We have more Dartmouth YouTubers now. It's not just me, which is awesome. And today's video, we are going through the freshman dorms and we're gonna be rating them, giving a little review of each of them because we know that the decisions just came out for Dartmouth College admissions. Welcome to all of you 23s. And yeah, we thought we'd give a good freshman and senior perspective on the, what's open to freshmen.
With Dartmouth and freshmen, or just Dartmouth in general, you're separated into a bunch of housing communities where that basically decides where you'll be living for the next 4 years. Like there's some communities that have specific buildings, and with freshman year, it's by floor. So everyone on the same floor will have the same housing community and they will be in like the same buildings for the next of their 4 years. In freshman year, you're separated by buildings essentially, and each building and cluster has its own little flavor.
The housing system didn't exist when I was a freshman, so like we got introduced to it. Like our freshman year, we had to choose little cluster friends that we wanted to be sorted into a house with, which was really intimidating because none of us had friends yet freshman year. So, the way that seniors respond to the housing communities is obviously a little different from how freshmen respond to the housing communities. What are some of your favorite things that you think that the housing communities offer that are like perks, would you say? Oh, wait, are you serious?
No, I hate it.
Wait, I thought freshmen were more into it than seniors would be.
Okay, they are, but also they try too hard in the sense that like they throw all this money that just kind of goes to waste because there's like, we have things like community house dinners and stuff, which are great for free food, but then it's like you don't actually talk to anyone else in your housing community, and then they try to do like events, and then like 2 people show up, and I always feel bad. Nonetheless, it's not like as bad as it sounds. I feel like you have to really just experience it and realize it's like a little more than just regular housing. Like I don't feel as connected to my housing community as I kind of expected to be. Nonetheless, it's fine.
It exists.
Yeah.
Like it's there. That's good to know though, actually, from a freshman perspective, because I would have thought that like coming in, since you're brought into your housing community immediately, that you'd have like a greater sense of house pride. Dartmouth's working on it. We'll see how it goes in the next few years, especially with like the call to lead and they're putting so much more money into the housing system. So we'll see how that's allocated. But anyways, that kind of goes into the dorms themselves, which we'll be going through and rating. One thing to note, I think in general with Dartmouth housing, is that there's a huge discrepancy between like how nice it is, and that's kind of like it, again, like inherent flaw with the housing community, that it just wasn't really built standardized. Like there's just some buildings that have been here since my mom went to Dartmouth, and there's some that are like super new that were built last year. I would say though, looking at the freshman dorms now, since it's changed from when I was a freshman, they have tried to standardize it a little bit more.
Every building has its perks, really. Something that happened with my freshman class when we were coming into it, we were like, oh, we don't want this cluster at all. We're gonna try to game the system and try to like get out of it. Yeah, like it happened with the class above us too. Like people tried to like game the system and like try to get into the buildings that they wanted by like requesting a specific room number or like size of the room or something like that. But I've realized in my time here that like, although that is an interesting perspective to things, with freshman housing, there are perks and there are bad things about every house. So don't worry if you get placed into a housing or a building that is not as desirable superficially, because there's a lot of perks from that.
So we're gonna go through, we're gonna discuss the aspect of each building based off of location, quality of amenities, and then just like the social atmosphere there. And then we'll give an overall like 1 to 5 rating, and just, take it with a grain of salt as always. Like there's no bad place to live in Dartmouth. You made it here, you might as well just enjoy wherever you end up. But just to give you a sense of like how to prepare or like what to expect when you are placed in a dorm at Dartmouth. Oh, and I'm gonna try to include like little cutaway footage in different dorms. I'm probably not gonna film every single dorm because they're scattered throughout campus and it's a lot of time. I don't feel comfortable asking people for permission to let me film their rooms, because that's like personal. I don't want people to feel like intruded upon.
Just check out the Dartmouth room tours on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because
I'll link Josh's dorm tour I have my freshman dorm tour. There are resources, they'll be out there. You guys
please
will see
don't show up to my dorm.
Let's start with the river. So French and Judge, those are the two freshman dorms in the river. The river, you guys may have heard of, is probably the furthest freshman dorm in that it's like all the way down Tuck Drive past the engineering school and like all the graduate schools, which is why people kind of hate them. They're also really old, not gonna lie.
However, if you're an engineer or you like rock climbing, the
Very
climbing
big.
gym is in the basement of one of the river apartments. And also, if you're an engineering person and you're taking engineering classes in your freshman year, it's like a 2-minute walk.
Additionally, because it's so far away during seasons like winter, which all the freshmen will be on for, people say that there's like a really tight sense of camaraderie that's formed through living in the river together because you don't really want to go outside. So you'll really get to know the people in your cluster.
Oh, and also, like, the floor plans in the river are pretty, like, on the surface level nice in the sense that, like, there are 3-room doubles there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a friend that's there and he has, like, a common room in his double and I'm like, whoa, you don't have to see your roommate.
If it comes to that, you really don't. And most dorms don't have a common room, so that's like pretty impressive. On a count of 3, do you want to just like do a little like 1 to 5 rating of how much you would want to live in the river? 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
My explanation for this is I'm not an engineering major. Like, I definitely wish I lived in the river during winter term when I was taking a engineering class for which Joelle was my TA. I was walking like 15 minutes to class, and when it was snowing, it was really rough. There were many days where I really contemplated texting my friends in the river and saying like, I'm not gonna make it home.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think similarly, I loved the location of my freshman dorm, which was super central. So like location for me is huge. So that's the river in a nutshell. Shall we go on to the choates? Which is also a huge freshman cluster. It's all freshmen: Bissell, Brown, Cohen, and Little.
They've been freshman dorms for a really long time. Jake Tapper, when he visited, was known for saying when he found out that his freshman dorm was still being used as a double, he just said, "Still?"
That's so sad. That should be indicative of the the quality of the amenities. It's not terrible. It's just established.
Like, honestly, the rooms are pretty solidly large. Like, when you're inside the room, I would very much like be fine with that. They're pretty much all doubles and there's a few singles and stuff. But with the choates, I know that there's some buildings that got really close. I think they're all pretty close with their own buildings because the hallways are so small that you have to run into people. Like, the communities there are incredible. Like, one time I lost my friend while I was out and she lived in the choates and I was like, hey, where are you? And she was like, oh, I'm with my floor. I'm like, you found your floor? Just all together? And they have really large common rooms too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, their common spaces are. But the choates are also really well located for the fratting life because they're off of Webster. Like, I mean, obviously for people not interested in like the partying life, that's not like, mandatory for living in the choates. Just know that you will probably be like in very close proximity to a lot of Greek life. Oh, also fun fact, those were built to be riot proof.
Oh, I heard about that.
And they're also supposed to be temporary.
And
I don't even know what to say about that. Okay, so rating of the choates, scale of 1 to 5.
I feel like 1 to 5 is a small scale.
We can do 1 to 10.
Okay, let's do 1 to 10.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Really? Just a 6?
I mean,
it's okay. You're totally like, that's totally a legitimate rating. I was curious.
Oh no, because
I don't want to sway your decision. It's okay.
I'm just thinking. Actually, you're right. That was a little harsh. I'd give it a 7.
A 7. Yeah, I was close to that. I said 8 just because it's a decent location, but it's a kind of old. Let's move on to the fayes. So there's North Faye, Mid Faye, South Faye, and short for Fayweather. Sorry.
Fairweather buildings, because they're called like North, Mid, and South because they have a connecting basement between the 3 of them.
Would you say that like between North, Mid, and South, at least for your class, is there one that's like more like active and social, or do they differ in terms of like amenities, would you say at all, or are they kind of standardized?
I know that Mid-Faye has a lot of triples, which is why they're a party dorm. So amenities wise, I don't think they're like that different because they share a kitchen in their basement. They have a I know Mid-Fay has a common room on their ground floor. Some of the rooms in the Fays have like half baths inside the rooms.
That's huge.
So they're pretty known for being the party dorms because they have large hallways, large rooms. A lot of people live there already. However, I don't think the Fays have that much of a community.
Oh dang, okay.
It's kind of sad.
Also for freshman floors, you guys will have a freshman UGA and weekly floor meetings, which can be kind of a hassle, but it's really good to get to know your floor. Like I don't know, are you close with your floor? Would you say you are?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, my freshman floor got pretty close through our floor meetings. We had an awesome UGA who I still keep in contact with. He's literally got me a job before. And the girls I'm living with, 2 of them are from my freshman floor in the room across from me. So you never know who you'll meet. How about our rating for the Fays?
Okay.
Scale 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3.
I just like the community aspect is really important to me within my building. So I think like not having that, I would much rather give up quality of a dorm to have the people.
Yeah, I like the location of the Fays. Like similar to choates, but yeah, they're really big. So I like docked some points because just like the raginess. I lived in a freshman dorm that was really similar to that, so I feel like I'm used to it, but it's kind of annoying. Okay, moving on to Wheeler and Richardson.
So I live in Richardson. I do want to talk about these 2 buildings separately because Richardson is a lot smaller than Wheeler, and they are disconnected. So Wheeler is a pretty large building. There's 4 floors. I know that like the floors individually have gone kind of close to each other.
Oh, cool.
Not in the sense that they're like their main social groups, but they all know each other, which is already something.
Yeah.
They have common rooms on every other floor there. Overall, it's just a very like nice dorm, to be honest. It's one of the older constructed dorms on campus, but it's definitely been renovated a few times. Now I will talk about Richardson, my favorite building on campus because I love my dorm a lot.
That's so sweet.
I have filmed so many videos in there, but I think the perk to my dorm specifically is that like we are just such a nice mix. Like last year it was kind of on the ragier side of things, but at the same time like every year Richardson gets close because we have one central common room that everyone comes to and you meet people from all of your floors. So I know my entire building. Love my building a lot. Just community, wonderful.
That's awesome, because that is kind of hard to find in some of the larger dorms.
Oh, also Wheeler and Richardson are close to the libraries.
Yeah, no, oh yeah, that's huge.
And
their location is great.
Okay, so there have been a lot of times where I have woken up literally 10 minutes before class, rolled out of bed and ran to class and made it there on time. But it was a luxury that I will cherish for my life.
Okay, rating for Wheeler then. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Yeah, like the community is there within the floors.
In good location.
Yeah, awesome location.
Yeah. Richardson? Okay. I feel like I can guess what yours is gonna be. Okay, I count 1, 2, 3. We have 2 communities that we're gonna talk about next, and these are a little different in that they're kind of like insular. So starting with East Wheelock, it's on its own a housing community. So rather than being divided by floor and, you know, for freshmen to be sorted into their housing communities later, like you go in and you're gonna live in East Wheelock, like that cluster, your entire time at Dartmouth, versus starting out in a freshman dorm and then being sorted into a different cluster.
Yeah, East Wheelock has freshman floors rather than freshman dorms. In your same building, there could be upperclassmen too.
Yeah. And it's definitely one of the newer buildings. Granted, it's a lot farther than like the Fayes and Wheeler and Richardson.
I like to say that East Wheelock is a different country.
That's like closer to where I live. I live further than East Wheelock, but it's fine.
I think it's closer to get to Vermont than it is to East Wheelock sometimes.
From the river and like Hollis. Definitely.
Yeah.
But people really like East Wheelock because of like it being insular. You're gonna live with the same people for all 4 years, so you're not gonna get like mixed up with another house and be sad that you can't live with them. You're just gonna be with them already. So that makes choosing roommates really easy later on in life. They have a lot of study rooms and a lot of communal spaces, which I think is a little different.
Oh, and they're super close to the gym.
Yeah, so I would say like far location, nice amenities, decent community.
Close to the gym.
Close to the gym. But yeah, it's just distance, I would say. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh, we were pretty close. I was like really disappointed personally when I got sorted into these. We're like gonna be completely honest when we got like our housing community assignments, but it's like I've warmed up to it. Mostly because going to the gym in the morning during the winter when it's freezing is like a 2-minute walk. Lastly is McGlaughlin, and this is like where the LLCs, living learning communities, are housed. So there are regular dorms that, you know, people just live in, or there's these specific floors that you can apply to based off of interest. So there's ones for different languages, different like cultural floors, different, I think they even have some faith-based floors, or just like different missions. But McGlaughlin is also very far. So that is one thing to note. It's kind of on, I guess, is that like the north end of campus?
Honestly, hot take, it's not that bad of a location. It's pretty far north, so like if you're going to go get lunch, it's a little bit further of a trek, but getting to class isn't as much.
Yeah.
I think it's like between a 5 and 10 minute walk max. Their common rooms are pretty solid too.
Nice.
Just the building itself has like they would share like a bathroom or a toilet and a shower between like 2 rooms or something like that. So it's very private in that sense, but the downside to that is it's very hit or miss in terms of the community. Like some floors will all get close to each other, other floors will not talk to each other. Also at the same time with McGlaughlin, like because you're being sorted into LLCs, consider that being on a floor with everyone who has the same interests as you can also be kind of like an echo chamber. When you have conversations with people, everyone's just agreeing with you.
Yeah, McGlaughlin is, I mean, it's a beautiful cluster. Very, very new. So there's a lot of like nice singles and 2-room doubles and that sort of thing. And then the bathrooms, they're like communal, but they're like really nice communal, if that makes sense. Like it's single stall communal. I think it's interesting hearing that from a freshman perspective, because I think definitely like if your freshman floor is close in McGlaughlin, you'll probably just all hang out because it is a little further from like other main social spaces during the day. So it's really easy to just like stay in your beautiful study room in McGlaughlin and not go out and meet other people.
They also have a snack bar. So honestly, you could survive there and just never like leave.
So yeah, I have a lot of friends who got really close with their freshman floors in McGlaughlin because they all had study rooms together. They also all had like TVs in the study rooms and they could all play video games together like when they don't want to go out or something. That can be a good and a bad thing. Let's rate McGlaughlin really quickly.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Oh, really? Because the community aspect, or?
The community is very hit or miss, and also I don't like being in environments where the ideologies are always the same.
Oh, with like living learning communities.
Because I don't like interest-based things.
No, I forgot about that from a freshman perspective because you haven't yet met so many people. So like for an upperclassman to say like, oh yeah, living learning community, great, whatever. It's because you already have friends in every other area on campus. But as a freshman, if that's your first introduction, it can certainly be limiting to, you know, who you're going to meet. But keep in mind there are some living learning communities that are just like not actually interest-based. They literally just made them up to be living learning communities. Anyways guys, that is our rundown of just hot takes on the freshman dorm options at Dartmouth. Thank you Josh for providing such great insight on freshman housing here at Dartmouth. If you guys haven't already found Josh's channel, it'll be linked down below. He creates a lot of similar content in terms of like college related stuff, life related stuff. He just provides like a good, healthy like look at college admissions from someone who's, you know, recently been on the other side of an applicant and is now a freshman here at Dartmouth. Do you have any parting things to add?
This is a lot of pressure.
Sorry.
At the end of the day, just know that like with housing and just where you live on campus, it really is what you make of it. It's really up to you to like just take control of your Dartmouth experience. Housing's literally just like the base level of that. It can just be a place that you want to sleep in, or it can be so much more. And if this video comes out before Dimensions, say hi.
Oh yeah, absolutely. During Dimensions, which is when it's basically like a fly-in program for prospective students, Josh and I and Hannah, who has another college, like Dartmouth related YouTube channel. She's also a freshman here. We'll all be doing a little meetup together. So if you guys want to meet us, just ask us any questions, say hi. We would really appreciate it.
Really, no topics are off limits.
Yes.
Like personally,
Truly.
I will answer every question.
Oh yeah. You know we have no problem being very blunt about things at Dartmouth. There'll be more details coming soon on our Instagrams and YouTube channels. So be sure to, you know, follow, small plug, follow us if you want that information. We'll be releasing it, of course, before Dimensions happens. But yeah, and just to piggyback off of what Josh said, really, like, you have so much opportunity to take initiative with where you live. It's really just a building and a location, but if you want to like initiate some sort of community on your floor, you 1000% have the opportunities to do that. It really just takes like being friendly, saying hi, and, you know, inviting people to do things. What we said, you know, that's how it is presently, but who knows, like by the time that you're here, this may change drastically and you could just be the catalyst of that. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed seeing, you know, hearing our perspectives. If you have not yet subscribed, please feel free to do so, to my channel, to Josh's channel, and yeah, see you in the next one. Peace, y'all.